What's up, everybody? Rob here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Did I really title this video, What is Money? It's pretty broad. Yeah, I did. The reason for that is I have kind of a different perspective on what I consider money and why I consider it to be money. And I wanted to share that with you all. If you're one of the first people getting notified of this video, that means that you click the subscribe and then you click the bell afterwards for the notifications of the videos. I know it's quite an investment. It's a whole, I think it's $0.00, so I'd have to double check on that. But I do think it's $0.00 to click the subscribe button, and the bell afterwards is an extra, I think $0.00 to do that too. So it's a bit of an investment, but I think if you watch this video all the way through, you might consider it a worthwhile investment. Okay. But seriously, if you are a subscriber, thank you. If you click that like button, it helps this video reach more people from the YouTube algorithm. So it really does go a long way. If you wanted to do that, would really appreciate it. Maybe wait till the end of the video to decide if you wanted to subscribe or click that like button. See if you see some value here. So what is money? Money, in a very broad sense, should be something that is valuable. Now, I know it's very broad and generic again. Let me further go into detail here. Money should be something that is hard to get. You shouldn't be able to just say, yeah, go get me that, like it's a gallon of milk or something. It should be something that it's hard for the average human to go get. And that's why we consider it money. That's why we are willing to give our labor for this item that we consider to be money. Thus, since the beginning of man pretty much, or modern man I should say, gold was always considered money. This was considered our tool for barter, gold and silver. The reason for that is if you just told the average person, hey, go out and get me some gold. It's like, yeah, okay, we're going to have to go to the hills. We're going to have to mine for it. We're going to have to refine it. And we're going to have to turn it into that 20-ounce gold bar that you have there. You know, it's not exactly like you can just go out to the grocery store and pick up gold. That is why it has always been considered money, because of specifically the intrinsic value behind getting this item. When you have this 20-ounce bar of gold that's valued at roughly, $38,000 to $40,000 right now, you know that somebody put in a ton of labor to get this item. There was a lot of work that went in to find this gold, refine this gold, and then put this gold bar right here on this table. It wasn't like just running to the grocery store and getting a gallon of milk. That is why the current system that we have is so ripe for disruption. Prior to 1971, all of our paper, which right here is some paper. So let's say you were able to put together 100 grand, right? Here's $100,000 in US dollars, right? Let's say you were able to do that. What was the labor involved in making this? We know the labor that was involved in making this. But what was the labor involved in making this? All of these pieces of paper, right? What was the labor involved in making this? They had a printing press, they had cotton, they had ink, and they shot these out. That's pretty much like going to the grocery store for a gallon of milk, like I said earlier. There really isn't any intrinsic value to these notes. Prior to 1971, the reason why the US dollar was considered the super currency of the world was because these bills were back to this. We had the gold in a vault, and all of the money was back to gold. It's actually written in the US Constitution that all money by the states should only be silver and gold coinage, nothing else. That is what we considered money in our Constitution, is silver and gold coins. Somewhere down the line, And a guy by the name of Richard Nixon decided, you know what? It's time for the biggest power grab of all time. It's time for the biggest power grab of all time. We are going to move off of the gold standard, and we are going to make it so that our money's money, and we said so. But wait, Nixon, what about the gold? No, we're keeping the gold. It's going to go over to Fort Knox, but the money is no longer backed by that metal for the citizens to go redeem their cash for that. And it's been that way since 1971. So that was the day that, or the year that fiat currency was launched. And we basically created money that was backed by nothing more than notes of debt. Notes of debt to a government that's in debt, that is willingly announcing secondaries of their money to put themselves into more debt to resolve the debt that they put themselves into. And if that sounds like a total cluster, it's because it is, and it's true. So, this used to be something prior to 1971 because they were IOU notes. They were IOU notes because they had something that was intrinsic value, that someone worked hard to mine, refine, and put these gold bars in Fort Knox. And we knew that our paper was an IOU note, and they were just holding the gold and storing it because it wasn't really, it didn't make economic sense to go and pay, a gram of gold for your milk, or cut a little bit of your gold off to buy milk. So these pieces of paper and coins were adopted so that we had these instruments to buy our everyday necessities. That's why we trusted them with that. And the republic honestly gets broken down by the fact that the people have lost their power of their money. They've trusted somebody else with it, and then the person that they trusted then said, actually, no, I'm keeping it, but I'm going to give you some more IOU notes, but I'm going to keep it. Could you imagine? Could you imagine you loan your buddy Ben some money, you loan him some gold, and he's sitting on your gold bar, you give him a 20-ounce gold bar, and you go, all right, cool. I'll give you a piece of paper that says, I'm Ben, and I owe you 40 grand. And then when you go back to get your money, he goes, actually, I'm going to keep the gold bar, but it's cool though. It's cool though. Okay, bro, it's cool. I'm going to write you more IOU notes. But these IOU notes, they're not back to the gold anymore. I'm keeping the gold. That's off the table. I'm keeping it. So thank you for that. But here's some more IOU notes. That's legitimately what happened in 1971 by Richard Nixon. The reason why I want to go into detail on just what is money in the first place is because money should be something that's hard to get. And right now, if you're able to willingly announce secondaries of money and say, we're doing a stimulus package, we're printing this much, we're lowering interest rates down to zero so these banks can give unlimited loans through fractional reserve banking. If you're able to do this, then there is no end to this. It's just going to continue to go. And like my last video I just talked about, it's like that analogy that we are in a race car in a desert bed, and we know for a fact that there's a cliff somewhere. And the only difference lately is that we're going faster and we're pedal to the metal. That's the picture I want to vividly put into people's minds, that there is a cliff 100% there, and we are just in a race car jamming towards it. At least that's my opinion. All of these videos are my opinion, not advice. Disclaimer. Let me put this out of the way. By the way, this is fake. This isn't real money. If you stayed in this video for that long and you're like, what in the world? Rob put 100 grand on a table. Looks pretty realistic. I'm kind of impressed by this fake money. But no, I can't do that. I can't say that that's real money. I'd never keep that much fiat currency. But let me put this over here. So this, on the other hand, is real. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because with Bitcoin rising recently and breaking past 16,000, that's a very big deal. The fact that Bitcoin is holding this kind of a valuation is different than anything else we've seen in money. And because it's holding this valuation and continuing to go up while getting more people interested in a cryptocurrency like that, we as humans, as citizens, are taking back what we consider to be money. Just because we say a Bitcoin, for example, is $16,000, you got to remember a Bitcoin is a different price in yen. A Bitcoin is a different price in euros. A Bitcoin is a different price in CAD and Canadian dollars. It's different prices based on what we, as the owner of a Bitcoin, decide to trade that Bitcoin for. So take apart the whole mindset of just going, oh, this is worth that many dollars. No. I'm willing to give you a Bitcoin currently to play hot potato with your $16,000 and play a game of hot potato with that money. I might have somebody that wants dollars. So I'm willing to give you one of my Bitcoin for 16,000 of your dollars. And if it's going up in value, if a Bitcoin used to be $3,000 and now a Bitcoin is $16,000, well, basically what happened is it's like people are going, all right, bro, I'll give you one of my Bitcoin, but I need more of your dollars because they just diluted those. They just printed a ton of those. I'll take your dollars, but I need 16,000 of them for one of my Bitcoins. But what do you mean, Rob? It was 3,000 just 6 months ago. No, it was prior to you guys printing $10 trillion and then multiplying that money through your commercial banks. Now the price is $16,000 for one Bitcoin. If you don't want it, that's fine, but that's the price I'm willing to trade it for. That's where I want people's mindsets to shift. When silver tanked at the beginning of COVID down to 12, you couldn't find it at $12 an ounce. No dealer I knew was willing to sell their silver. The reason for that is because although they were trying to say, okay, your silver's worth $12 an ounce, the people who owned the actual physical silver thought otherwise and said, no, you got us mistaken. You are saying you want my silver for $12 an ounce. I'm not willing to sell you my silver for $12 an ounce. That's where you're mistaken. You might think that, but you can go ahead and buy SLV stock or whatever, or do whatever you want to do, which very smart move if you did do that and buy like a 6-month options call contract. Maybe I'll talk into that kind of stuff in later videos. But right now we're just going to kind of keep talking about money in general. I think that is a great way to look at collectibles, to look at money, to look at where you store your money, with anything in general, what you are bartering with. Don't look at it as it's just a commodity that you're willing to sell at whatever they say that commodity is worth. And I know that kind of is off the textbook definition, but truthfully, an item will be sold in a free market for what the free market defines its worth. And that's why when silver fell down to 12, it was really going for 15, 16 an ounce because the people who had it weren't willing to sell it if there wasn't a big premium attached. That is pretty much textbook on how people can consider something worth other than what the crowd and what the government is trying to tell you the money is worth. I don't see any end in the Fed printing this money and continuing to inflate this bubble. I said this in the past video that my thesis remained the same on precious metals and Bitcoin because nothing's changed. Excuse me. If Trump, who was the America First president and wanted to do whatever he could to make our economy flourish, and he did some great things in regards to that. He also had some crazy fingers on his Twitter and stuff. I mean, he could have done something where, I don't know. I don't want to get into the politics thing, but there's a lot when there's good things Trump did, I want to give him respect and kudos for that. When there's bad things he did, I want to say, bad Trump, chill out on the Twitter, stop doing stupid stuff, but did a great job with the military, got us out of wars, didn't get us in any new wars, and tried to make us energy independent, pretty much succeeded at that, a lot of things that would have been fantastic had we implemented that 60 years ago, 50 years ago. But as of right now, it's too late. You can't fix it in 4 years. The can's been kicked too far down the road on what we consider to be our money. And we are just the cleanest shirt in the dirty hamper. All of these fiat currencies around the world is just fake money. It's all fake money. And so by making this video, I hope that it kind of changes your mindset on what you consider to be money. In my mind personally, and again, everything here is just my personal opinion, not to be taken as fact or as advice, discretion, but don't sue me, bro. Look at money as something that should be hard to get. Money should be something that is hard to get. Like a collectible, for example. If you have a rare bar, if you have a rare coin, if you have a watch that's no longer being produced and you have the original box and papers and it's in mint condition, things that are hard to get go up in value because they're finite and they're hard to get, period. And I know I'm sounding redundant, but I really want to just kind of nail that in because it's so true. These pieces of paper are easy to make. And by the way, let's pull this back out. So here's this fake $100. And I'm pretty impressed by these, by the way. They're good fakes. But so here's a fake $100,000. And they say like movie props and stuff, so don't sue me, bro. They're fake. Okay. This is studio money. But there was no real effort to produce these. And by the way, if we weren't moving towards a digital age, if we weren't supposed to be using these pieces of paper any longer, they used to have a $100,000 bill. Don't believe me? Google it. They used to have a $100,000 bill. They're quite collectible now. Gold note. Wouldn't it be easier to just go, okay, screw all this. I have one bill. Here's one, 100,000. Here you go. They even had a $1,000 bill, a $500 bill. I'm sure a lot of you in the numismatics world and collectors world know about these notes. Why not have those now? Why did we need those in the 30s? We need those notes now. That's crazy. As inflation continues to go up, we need these, and we just need a stat. That's how we hold $100,000. To get 10 grand, we have to have a teller go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have to have money counters so that we can get through this quick enough. When we had notes in the past in the 30s that were $10,000 notes, $100,000 notes, why don't we have those now? The answer is we're moving towards a digital age, and we're moving towards that digital age fast. Now, Bitcoin is completely peer-to-peer. It's outside of the systems of any government. It's decentralized. It's quite magnificent that it exists, to be honest with you. Now, is there the possibility of some competitor coming in down the line that's, say, a gold-backed crypto or something along those lines? Yes. Right now, Bitcoin is the name brand. The intrinsic value of a Bitcoin is that it ends at 21 million coins, and we're almost there. I think it's past 20 million coins mined now. So we're rapidly approaching the end of the line for Bitcoin. Once it hits 21 million coins, it's over. It's finite. You can't announce a secondary of Bitcoin like they did with our paper currency, with our fiat money. But the ultimate way to know if if it's something can be viable as money is to know that this is ultimately finite. Gold is finite in a sense, but it's continued to be mined. Will we mine all of the gold on Earth? Doubtful. But it's hard to get still. So it's considered like somewhat finite. Bitcoin, on the other hand, ends. So why am I so bullish on precious metals? Why am I so bullish on Bitcoin? These items are hard to get and they have intrinsic value. Money should be hard to get. You shouldn't be able to just poof money into existence because you said so. That's not the way it should work. That is my message and what I wanted to get out on this video on what is money. Hopefully it wasn't too redundant. Hopefully there is some value there for you. But with Bitcoin jumping over 16,000 like this, What it tells me is that people are valuing their Bitcoin more than they're valuing the dollar. When stocks are pumping up through the roof, when you got, these super ridiculous valuations on companies, it's not that these companies like Tesla are worth over $300 billion, right? It's that the owners of Tesla stock are not willing to sell their positions in this company for a less amount of these dollars after you've printed so many of them. If the dollars have been diluted and diluted and diluted, it's going to take more of them to let go of my stock because I like my stock more than your dollars. The problem is these stocks are valued in dollars. Prior to 1971, all stocks were valued in gold because the dollar was backed to that metal. But now it's just a unlimited game of secondaries with dollars. We can poof pow. I still love that name. I want to copyright that, poof pow. But he keeps poofing more money into existence. This isn't without repercussions. Someone has to pick up this bill. If you inject this much money, while all of these needles, while gold, while silver, while Bitcoin, all of these different things are coming in and saying, no, we consider this more valuable than these diluted dollars. So everything has to inflate when you are printing away. The super currency of the world is getting diluted like this. It's very scary. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a little bit out there. But this is my channel and just for putting out my opinion. And I hope that this message can resonate with some people. First and foremost, I'm bullish on gold, silver, platinum, palladium. The reason for that is if there is lack of trust in the dollar, which there obviously is with how much of it has been printed, the central banks of the world are not going to buy Bitcoin first. That's going to be more so the citizens and more so the speculative investors going, okay, well, this is a funky play, but the dollar is kind of a funky play. So let's go ahead and buy some Bitcoin in our hedge fund. Let's buy some Bitcoin if you're a wealthy person. If you're just a regular investor to own some Bitcoin, buy it on your Cash App or on your Coinbase or whatever. It's becoming more popular because there's a lack of trust in the dollar. But on the central bank level, on the large institution level, these individuals are going to go to gold and silver first. That's what I believe. That's what a lot of big people on YouTube like Peter Schiff, those guys believe as well. I agree with that. But where I disagree with Peter Schiff is the complete disregard of Bitcoin as money. I happen to think my broad definition, my personal broad definition of what is money is something that's hard to get. Very simple. Bitcoin, if I told you, go get me a Bitcoin. Yeah, go get me a Bitcoin. Go ahead, go get it. Going to get a computer set up. You're going to put it in a place where it's electronic. The electrical cost makes sense to mine a Bitcoin. Right now, they're saying to mine one Bitcoin costs like $8,000 or $9,000 if you have the right technology to mine this Bitcoin. You can't just go out and get a Bitcoin. There is real intrinsic value to these coins. And that is why the people that hold them consider them more valuable than a dollar, obviously, because $1 doesn't get you one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin, we want 16,000 of those. And yeah, we said 3,000 6-8 months ago, whatever, but times have changed. We want 16,000 of those diluted dollars for one of these Bitcoins. Same thing with gold. We want $1,880 for 1 ounce of our gold now. Yeah, I know it used to be $1,100 a year or two back, but now we want $1,880 for our gold, and I believe that price is going to dramatically go up as the effects of printing and flipping this money through fractional reserve banking and the commercial bank level finally hits, and people realize that this $1,200, this stimulus that was so pressed on the government to make this $1,200 stimulus, that is going to cost you orders of magnitude more than what you received for that $1,200 check in inflation. You're going to take the $1,200 in your front pocket, and they're going to take 10 grand out of your back pocket. And I'm just using broad numbers. But when the cost of milk goes up, when the cost of gas goes up, when the cost of all your groceries goes up, that's when you realize, oh, trusting them to issue this kind of money, trillions and trillions of dollars, actually wasn't a great idea. And now all of the money is diluted. Is there any way out of it? Back the dollar to gold again. Hopefully there's a lot in Fort Knox. Is there any solution? I hate to take that fatalistic attitude towards it, and I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I hope it's worth your time. I really do believe the cliff is in place. I really do believe that we are just going faster towards that cliff. And say a guy like Trump goes in office and he's done everything perfect by the book. And I'm not saying that happened. I agree with some of the stuff he did. I disagree with some of the stuff he did. But in the economic sense, he did some good stuff there. He might have slowed down the car a little bit, but that car is still going forward. It might not be going fast as it used to be, but it's still going forward. And that cliff still is there. That's my point. And I don't think some four-year term president can stop that inevitable cliff that's coming, because this was enacted 50 years ago in 1971 by Richard Nixon. This wasn't made like a week ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, even 10 years ago. The effects have been put into place. And now to see Bitcoin going up, I'm hyped on it. Excuse me. I'm hyped on it. But I also know that if Bitcoin succeeds, the current system can crumble fast. So that's why I'm getting prepared myself. That's why the money that I showed is fake money, because we all know I wouldn't have that much fiat currency. But that's the video. I know I rambled a bit in this one, but I hope it was worth your time. This is my extremely broad definition of what I consider to be money and the mindset that I have on what I consider to be a currency, or what I consider to be a store of value. I don't consider these notes that were able to be, why? This is like what Robert Kiyosaki line, that Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think I took his book home and I've been reading it there. But the Rich Dad Poor Dad book is a great book from Robert Kiyosaki, and I hope to one day be able to talk to him, because he helped me a lot early on in my career when I read that book. So I didn't know, I'm too small of a YouTuber to get anything for saying that, so it's genuine. He said something along the lines of, why would you work for something that they can print? Why would you slave your labor away for something that they can just print? You know, it doesn't make any sense. So I don't think there is intrinsic value behind printing currency and digitally injecting trillions of dollars into this currency that is the super currency of the world. I don't believe that. I think that I would rather store my money in gold or silver or Bitcoin that I know to be something that's hard to get. And with that, I will end the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you watch this video all the way through, just click that subscribe button already and the bell afterwards so you get notified of future videos. If you want to smash that like button, would really appreciate it. It helps this video reach more people. So if you found the video to be valuable, it will help get the video out to more people. If you don't want to hit that like button, put a comment down below on why you disagree, because we have great conversations in the comment threads down below, and I always like reading all the comments and getting back to you guys there. Thanks again so much for watching. See you at the next video. Signing out.